I just want to take a minute to welcome everyone. My name is Mark. We'll do formal introductions in just a moment. But this is our September Partner Roundtable. And this is a great opportunity for all of our MSP partners. This is exclusive to our partners to learn more about Hatz, what we've been up to, what resources we have, what our roadmap looks like, and ask questions and really get time with Jimmy and the rest of the team. So really excited to have everyone here today. And uh, sometimes you think I'm AI. That's great. The day that I can turn myself into AI, I'm doing it. So we'll go ahead and introduce here. We have Jimmy. Jimmy, do you want to introduce yourself, or do you want to wait until the yeah?
CEO, founder, Hatz AI. Super pumped to be here and chat with everyone and show what's new and what's coming.
Great. JP?
Yeah, likewise, we have a lot on the docket today, so we'll get into it.
Kelsey, do you want to say hi?
Hello, everyone. Happy to be here and happy to see everybody virtually.
Great. And Mike, we're gonna announce you in a little bit, but do you want to say hi to everyone? Mike might not be in yet, actually, so we'll give him a
Uh,
minute.
Mike, so we'll introduce Mike later. Mike's on
All
the
right,
call. He's part of the team to support partners here, so we'll take the opportunity later to do that.
perfect. All right. So this is the roundtable. Roundtable format means we are back to a meeting format. We don't have the webinar set up, so we can actually see you, we can hear you. If you have questions, you can interact with everyone. I see a lot of you are already doing that in the chat, and there's no dumb questions, right? Any questions that you have, anything that you want to share, other partners might benefit from it. There are a lot of new people here, and you're new to the platform, you're new to managed AI, new to AI as a service. There are no dumb questions here, so anything you're curious about, go ahead and ask. And as our community grows, so do your resources. And we really want to foster this community of MSPs who are in uncharted territory selling AI as a service. So really just thanks to everyone for coming today. I'm going to start a poll, and these are some good questions that we have for you. Launch this September poll. Have you seen the new website? Spoilers, we have a new website, and we'll look at it in just a moment. Have you added your managed AI practice to your website? And finally, do you know where to find onboarding and support resources for your MSP and for your end customers? These are hopefully some things to get you started thinking about selling AI as a service. Housekeeping, roundtable scheduled for the rest of the year. We will get a new link out for these, for where you can RSVP for these pretty early, but we're doing one in October, October 29th, and we're combining the November and December. We're doing it early in the month in December, give everyone time for the holidays and just sort of the end of the year. So those are the next two, and we'll close out the year with these two partner roundtables. So this is the new website. I know Jimmy's going to talk about this, I think, at the end with some updates, but really excited, wanted to share this. Tons of use cases on there, lots of information about partnerships, resources, totally revamped, and we're really just really excited that this is finally out there for you to see and to share with your network. All right. I'm going to move through the next couple of slides. We're breaking this up into adoption, go-to-market, and product. And I know you're all excited to talk about product, but there are some things that we want to share with you first. And the first thing is on October 1st, which is on Wednesday next week, we are relaunching the Learning Portal. The Learning Portal has served its purpose. The level 1 through 4 adoption pathway has served its purpose. Many of you on this call have gone through those courses, provided very valuable feedback and insights for us, and we've listened to your feedback. So on October 1st, we're relaunching with a consolidated course called the AI Champion Certification. This will have much of the same info. You can actually see here, it's the same kind of info, but explored in a new way. So if you've gone through levels 1 through 4 or even level 1, 2, whatever, this will still be a very valuable thing for you to do. The text that's in that pink color is brand new, never before shared information, best practices, things that we've learned over the last year of working with AI. So brand new stuff that you probably have not heard before. Everything else is consolidated, told in a much quicker way, but kind of cuts through a lot of that. I gotta watch 45 minutes to learn how to do this and then 30 minutes to learn how to do that. No, no more of that. This is a consolidated course. Get your team trained up, get your team certified. So October 1st in the learning portal, you'll have this certification. Also coming on October 1st will be a customizable onboarding framework. So we've heard feedback from you. It can seem like a lot to onboard your clients, and you want to be really supportive and provide a lot of value to them, but you don't have to do it. You don't have to start from scratch. You're not reinventing the wheel. We have a lot of supports here for you, including this onboarding process that you can take, rebrand, customize, following a 30, 60, 90-day framework. Follows the crawl, walk, run strategy. So there's a webinar if you want to bring all your clients onto one webinar and do an AI kickoff with them. 30 days later, you're casting a wider net for ROI. There's use case ideation, workshop ideas, and inspiration. Day 60, you're going to be scaling what works. You're moving from crawl to walk to run. And then on day 90, we do office hours. You can also do office hours. We're going to talk to Jennifer in a couple minutes about some of those things that she's been doing. You can do the very same thing, and we have some AI tools to help you with that. So we're really looking forward to October 1st. A lot of new resources and supports coming out for everyone on October 1st. Then, Allie, I'm going to put you on the spot for just a second to talk about Feature Fridays, if you don't mind.
Sure. So Feature Fridays are something Mark and I host every Friday at 11. And they're a lot of fun, and people who have joined them probably know the process. But typically, our engineering team every Thursday pushes out an amazing release, whether it be new features, updates, improvements. And Friday mornings is really a time where you can hop on with Mark and I, and we will walk you through, what was released the night before, typically, what we're most excited about. And then we'll also go through any, fun, important things that we have coming up in the month. And sometimes too, we'll review, some questions that we've gotten. So a lot of times, most people on this call may know that I am the face behind Lark Meeper and help at Hatz AI. So if we tend to be getting a lot of the same questions in support, or something we think might just be helpful for our partners to know or for our partners to pass on to their end customers, we'll go through that on the call as well. So Feature Fridays are a lot of fun.
Yeah, Feature Fridays are great. And then if you need a little bit more support, if you want more of a small group feel, on Tuesdays at 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. Eastern, we offer use case support, use case ideation workshops, prompt engineering, really just platform and use case support. It is capped at 10 attendees. It's a smaller group. We ask that you submit, a couple points about why you're signing up, just so we can prep if there's anything we need to review ahead of time. And those are great. I know there's a bunch of people here who have come to those even this week, yesterday. So take advantage of those. They're right there. I think Kelsey just dropped the link in the chat. So yeah, those are two great supports for you. And then I'm going to pass it over to Kelsey to talk about something that we have coming out, I believe, starting next month.
Yes, very exciting. I get the pink slide. We have so many great pieces of education and collateral, and we don't want that to go to waste. We also don't want to spam y'all. So we are working on consolidating that and making it something that you're able to get updates directly to your inbox. It will be an opt-in. We're thinking once a week, potentially every other week, just to give you the highlights of what's new and what's happening. So even if you're too busy to make Feature Fridays or potentially, very sadly, miss a roundtable, you won't be out of the loop.
इंटरव्यू का था ना ये भी टास्क में
Great. Thanks so much, Kelsey. So these will come out opt in, so we're not going to spam you. All right, that leads us to JP. JP, I'm going to stop sharing so you can take over.
Thanks, Mark. So some great information there. Hope everyone has taken note of it. But again, we'll be able to put those links in the chat if anyone missed it. You know, and these meetings are great, right? Like it's an opportunity. It's moving so quick. It's an opportunity definitely to take a little step back and look at what we're seeing right now in the market. So we have a couple of things to cover, but you know, AI adoption's happening faster than I guess anybody could have expected at the top of the year. Your customers are no longer asking if they'll use AI, they're just asking like how to use it, right? There's a lot of data out there showing that almost 70% of businesses are already experimenting. So the opportunity for MSP is really, really crystal clear. Your customers need help on getting started. They don't know where to begin, and that's where MSPs come in. MSPs are obviously moving now to position themselves as that default AI partner for their customers. And what we're actively doing is helping to build some capacity and to really help put you into that AI as a service business. So the conversation we're having today, and anytime you're meeting with the team, is how do we get ahead? How do we get MSPs ahead? Activate as many of your customers as possible now, and put you in that sort of driver's seat between now and the end of the year. Not only to activate customers, but to build competency within your own team to take advantage of what's coming, right? So everyone's going to need help. They're going to reach out to their MSPs, and that's additional recurring revenue that MSPs can capture today. So that's like how we think about it. We're investing as well, but we're also putting activation plans in place. Some of you may have already seen this, but I'll probably walk you through some of it now to help frame the conversation. If you're buying as you go with Hatz, we love that. That's great. There's lots of supports. Mark touched on some of it that we're putting in our support network, self-service information. We have a lot of office hours, lots of supports there. There's also other options where if you really want to accelerate it between now and the end of the year, we have plans in place. For example, this partner accelerator has been really popular over the last couple of weeks, where we're going to give more time to some partners that are accelerating their onboarding of customers, where we'll have dedicated resources for things like office hours and really dedicated time from Mark and his team and Ali, and been able to lean into some of the work that, again, it will help build competency within your own team. So these options are available. The MSPs that are, again, leaning into it at the moment are the ones that are accelerating ahead to take advantage of what we just talked about and become that AI partner for your customers. Part of our investment into all of this is obviously in a lot of the things you just seen, but also on the people side. And because he was late to the call, he gets the special honor of having his face here on one slide. But I want to just take an opportunity to, I'll stop the share for a second, Mike, and I'll save you here. But I want to introduce you, Mike, for a second. Just a little bit about yourself, maybe your background, but you've been with the team now a couple of weeks, but what have you seen?
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of the people on the meeting here, I know we've talked individually, so great to see a lot of you again. But yeah, previously worked with JP, Jimmy, and a lot of the other members here at a company called Scout Cybersecurity, later purchased by Barracuda Networks, and was there for 5 years working specifically with MSPs on go-to-market acceleration, how to help, how it can be a resource. So definitely familiar with the industry, and we've been seeing a tremendous amount of momentum. I think the main thing that I hear from a lot of people is that I met with, we've been using it and now we just kind of need help going to market. So like, how do we start selling it to customers? What should we be thinking about? All those sorts of questions, comments, concerns, and all that. So really what I have prepared and what we're going to kind of do to enable some of that in terms of make it easier than we have been, is very much doing an accelerator event next week. So really, there's 2 sessions, and I touched on this briefly on the Feature Fridays for those who were there last week. But it's really a 2-day high impact program with sessions designed to help activate your sales team or activate your go-to-market strategy so that you could hit the ground running. It'll be myself, JP, and Mark on the call. So we'll talk about ways to open opportunities, close opportunities, onboard customers, ultimately find out the way to make you the most successful and help you with that journey in terms of how we go to market. So again, if it works out, we'll continue to do things like this. As a lot of people know, we're very much trying new things, and things that work we'll keep, and things that don't, we'll find ways to make them work. So that's kind of where we're at now is, if anybody here is interested in any means, there's no strings attached. You could come and join if you want to develop that go-to-market strategy. I'll put my email in the link here, and yeah, we'll get those going. And then I see Nick's question. So it's on Wednesday of next week and Thursday of next week. We have one on Wednesday at 3 o'clock Eastern, followed by another one on Thursday at 1 o'clock Eastern. They're booked for an hour, but you don't need to be there for the full hour. I mean, you could pop on, chat with us, leave. Again, we know the time is valuable for MSPs, so we want to make sure we're not wasting it. So if you're interested in popping in, similar to like an office hours, just around go to market, the doors are open.
Thanks, Mike. That's great, Mike, and you're very welcome. And thank you for that. I think just to maybe switch gear a little bit, definitely want to acknowledge all the work, Mark. You have the the Champions program starting 1st of October. We've all the onboarding framework. Ali, great office hours. Really encourage anybody to jump on the Feature Friday on a Friday, and the links are there. Kelsey's going to take some of the content and repurpose it for partners. So lots going on, but we get a lot of the feedback from partners, and we learn from partners, and there's no one better that exemplifies all of these themes that we've been discussing than one of our MSPs, who is no stranger to this roundtable, but one person who's key here is a person called Jennifer Donahue from ImageQuest. And I'm going to stop the share now as well here, Jennifer, for a second, but if that's okay here. So I want to welcome you, Jennifer, and take the opportunity to say thank you for your feedback up until now. You've been leading the AI sales efforts for ImageQuest, which with great success, forging ahead. It would be great if you could take a moment to just introduce yourself, I guess, share your perspective from an MSP standpoint. We got a lot of great MSPs here at different stages of the journey, and probably want to maybe introduce yourself and kick it off for us a little bit. And how did it all get started, right?
Sure. So there's so much I could say about this, but yeah, thank you, JP, for the kind introduction. Like you said, I'm Jennifer Donahue. I lead sales over here at ImageQuest. We're based in Nashville, Tennessee. And I was very fortunate. About 10 months ago, I joined the team. So I was very fortunate to just join an AI forward MSP. So that's kind of how my interest was piqued in it. But, I came from a strong sales background in medical device, and I've sold numerous things over the years. And so when I got into MSP sales, I saw that, traditional IT, we have these very long sales cycles. You have to be at the right place at the right time with the right decision maker. So, those types of opportunities you work throughout the year. But then we had this thing called AI, and it didn't matter who I was talking to, whether it was a prospect or a current client. It was a conversation they wanted to have. They were asking questions that, even though I wasn't a complete expert on it, I knew just a little bit more than they did. So, and they were really open to those strategic conversations. So, Milton had done an amazing job building out our program. So I did step into a well-baked program, but it was something that I knew I could be successful with. So I asked to take it over, and he graciously turned it over to me. And ever since then, it's been that engine that not only, drives my sales with managed service potential clients, but also new logos. So it's been a fun journey.
if you go back, Jennifer, to the early days, and we often think about Drive for Five and their first beachhead customers. So for an MSP that's using Hats internally and they're getting familiar, some of the team are getting familiar. There's probably a point where, how do I even open a conversation? And as you often say, it's not a technical conversation, right? Like it's
Yeah.
but those early ones, I guess, if you cast your mind, what did that look like? And you know obviously what type of customer were the net new, or like how did you approach it?
Sure. So, I mean, by far, my biggest recommendation for AI, if you haven't sold a single license yet or a single deal, start with your current clients. Like this is an opportunity to have that strategic conversation, get a little bit stickier with your current clients, and they will appreciate it. This is a way, even though we feel like we're selling things, and sometimes, as MSPs, we have, there's an aversion to that, but there doesn't need to be because they are looking for answers. And that's, I would start 100% with your current client base.
Got it. Yeah, yeah. And once they're up and running, the we heard earlier from Mark on an adoption. Mark, you might want to jump in here. A lot of how we formed some of the thoughts was working with great MSPs like ImageQuest on get a customer started. Okay, that's it. What's next, and how do they see time to value as quick as possible? How I guess how did you do it then, and then like how are you viewing it now that first 30, 60, 90 days, let's say, for a new customer coming on board?
Sure. So there was definitely some learnings along the way. So, I very much started out having the conversation, getting them interested in hats, and then getting the buy-in. They'd sign their quote, would set up their tenant, and they were off and running, would point them to the learning portal, and that was it. And so quickly we realized that there needs to be a little more support because, right, the envision is to get them to a steady state where it is very self-service, and because it is a very easy platform to use once you understand it. So we decided to create a true onboarding system where, once we build out that tenant, I perform a training, whether it be with we always suggest they start with a leadership group. So, and I like to see all verticals be a part of that AI leadership group because adoption really is driven from the top down. Well, it starts from the bottom up and then it's driven from the top down, if that makes sense. So, and then I'll do a training kickoff call with their leadership, and then offer to do another kickoff call with them with their greater organization once they've deployed it to everybody. And then we devoted some resources on the back end if they have some, custom builds that they want to accomplish or some integrations. We do have some resources on staff. It's not something that we really lead with, but we do have those capabilities. But, it's something that we just wanted to make sure that we're keeping an eye on their adoption. I'm hosting some office hours for current clients. That's been a big game changer for us. And it's just an opportunity to engage with them, keep them updated on what's new with the platform. So, and we can even probably do a better job with that with constant communication with them. But just having a way for them to bring ideas and questions to us without overburdening ourselves and help desk with questions about it, because that was another consideration that you have to make.
Mark,
Yeah.
you and I snuck into one of these office hours some time ago with I don't know, like there was 12 of your end customers there, Jennifer,
Yeah.
and I learned so much myself when you sit back and you listen to somebody going through the platform, and your familiarity was on the platform was great, and we learned a lot. But Mark, you're leading out with AI adoption, and yeah, any
Yeah.
questions?
Yeah, I mean, Jennifer, you touched on this a bit with the office hours that you're running for existing clients. You've onboarded quite a few, and if you were to take all of them through 30, 60, 90 day and beyond, one by one, those hours add up really quickly.
Yeah.
So can you talk a little bit more about getting them all into a room together or a Zoom together and what that looks like and what the feedback was from them about that sort of webinar style office hours?
Yeah, well, the impetus for it was we were just getting a lot of technical questions. And they were the same questions over and over. And the platform has been evolving so quickly. And we're like, how do we communicate? Because the platform they bought 6 months ago is not the platform they're using today. And so we wanted to make sure they were getting the most out of it. So we started with client admins. We just wanted to make sure that, proof of concept really. So we started with our client admins and the feedback has been amazing. I know I get feedback all the time. Milton's gotten several clients reach out to him, just grateful that we put that together. So the next step for us is to invite everybody on the platform, every end user that's a part of Hatz to come and ask, because the more people we have, the richer the questions, the more ideas we have. And really that's like such a key to AI adoption is hearing how other people are using it and bringing that into what you do every day.
That's great. That's great, Jennifer. And yeah, I'm just looking at a question. I'm going to throw that there. We'll go off script there a bit, Jennifer. But you know, when people hear about AI, the first thing they'll say is, "Oh, see the use case. What use cases are of interest?" I'm just curious in your take on that. I think vis-a-vis chat and getting started, like how are you seeing that divide of use cases versus leaning into things like chat first and progressing from there?
Sure. It really depends on the organization. Some of them have really thought this through, and we're starting to see organizations in all stages of that. We have companies that are still, especially super regulated industries, they tend to be a little bit slower to adopt technology than, say, manufacturing or something like that. But, most companies, and I don't think it's going to be like this for very much longer because the more I talk to them, the more options they have in front of them. But they really are still just, my question to them is, are you using ChatGPT to do your job today? Like simple, what are you guys doing for AI? Do you have any policies and procedures in place? So that way you can kind of get the look and feel of the organization. Like, have they already started doing these big integrations, or are they really just like, yeah, someone asked me for Gemini the other day and I keep getting asked for Grok and I'm using ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's 75 to 80%, maybe even 90% of organizations are still in that. We're using disparate licenses. I'm getting asked for new ones all the time. So it's just simple questions like, what are you doing for AI? How are you thinking about it?
That's it. That's it. Well, Jennifer, just to close this out, again, this is just like a little snapshot, I think, on your view of the world. So we really appreciate you popping on and getting customers started and that adoption journey. Where do you see it next? And obviously, I hear you talk about land and expand a little bit. But yeah, what's your view of all of that? And maybe, I don't know, yeah.
Yeah, so our experience with it is evolving just like the market. So starting with your current client base, that is step number one because they will become evangelical for you. So I have, because I've helped some of my clients get ahead of that curve. Now they're thought leaders within their industries, and they're giving panel talks, and I'm helping them create that. So start with them, and then as far as land and expand, I've been able to bring logos under the ImageQuest umbrella that I normally wouldn't. They're not good managed service targets. They're maybe not ready for advisory, but they've bought, so we're in strategic conversations. So it's an opportunity down the road when they might be a good fit to have those conversations there and be available and in the organization. So just start. You got to start. You got to get a few clients on, and it really is momentum begets more momentum, and before you know it.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Congratulations on all of the success so far, Jennifer. Really appreciate it. And there's many others like Jennifer in this group. And as we think about celebrating and recognizing MSPs like ImageQuest and some of the leaders like Milton and Jennifer in those organizations, we're definitely going to promote that as we get through the next couple of weeks and months with what you might have heard before with AI Inner Circle. Nice exclusive swag and all of that good thing, but more importantly than swag, obviously, real strong relationships with the Hatz team as we look at early access to integrations and influencing on things like go-to-market strategy and even roadmap, which is a good segue. I'm going to hand over Jimmy, I know you might want to acknowledge Jennifer there and our next segment as well with Hatz product.
Yeah, sure. Jennifer, thank you. Thank you. I'm going to be honest, when we first started working together, I didn't foresee like the new logo piece of it at all. And then, you just went out, you're like, oh yeah, no, they're not a managed services customer. We just, we're getting them started on AI. And I was like, whoa, oh, okay. So it's been really fun to work with you and the team, and you give a better demo than me. I know that with end customer. So major kudos to you.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. So now time to pivot in to product and roadmap. We've been busy, and we got a lot still coming. The way the roundtable fell this month is it didn't hit all of our final releases in the month. So we got some stuff. I'll show it at the end, some stuff that's coming today, tomorrow, and hopefully next week. But over the last 30 days, we've added a bunch of new stuff, a lot related to document generation, Excel, Word, PDF, that kind of stuff. So I'll go through that. We also added image generation from Google. It's Google Gemini Flash 2.5 image generation, but better known as Nano Banana, because it was released anonymously in an AI sort of like image ranking arena and was blowing everyone out of the water. So, just to start off, like we have this available now. If you click on in the model selector, there's a filter for image generation. So we have already had it for most of the GPT models that have image generation. And now we also have it from this Google model that is very, very good. And it's also very fast. So this is all real time. I'll show like within a couple like GPT image generation, it takes like, a minute or so. But with Nano Banana, it's pretty quick. So, we've all seen AI generated images, cool, whatever. It does seem to get like text right more often, which is great. But something more interesting is its image editing capabilities. So I took this picture of myself, and I just asked it to replace the cactus with a different type of tree. I think what did I say? A lemon tree. There you go. And it is quick, it is fast, and it is very good at replacing things or changing backgrounds and that kind of stuff. So play with it, experiment. It's a lot. I find it better than GPT image generation because the quality is a little better. It doesn't follow instructions as well as GPT, I think sometimes, especially if you go like multiple turns. But the quality is better, the text is better, and it's much better at like editing existing images without changing like, my face looks the same as the original picture, that kind of stuff. Oh, that's funny. I replaced this with the lemon tree too. Didn't even realize that. We also continued with the phone agent improvements. So now, like, the emails that you get from the phone agents are actually helpful. Give all the key information in one spot. You just need to flip on a feature that says use new emails. If you have an existing phone agent, we didn't automatically roll it out to everyone because people had email parsers or things like that. We wanted to make sure that was there. Also, if you're like me and you have your cell phone forwarding to your phone agent, you get a ton of calls that are just people hanging up once they get to voicemail, because my AI agent is my voicemail, and it'll just send an email saying like, hey, you missed a call from this number, instead of like, no transcription available, blah, 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 or hallucination or something like that. So that is, a incremental improvement. We'll have more phone agent updates coming soon. I'll talk about that in a bit. But on to document and image generation. Or document generation. So we added a couple buttons throughout the platform, peppered or sprinkled the buttons, if you will, for being able to more easily export things to PDF or Word or Excel. So now any table that you generate, you can just download as a CSV file. It's embedded in the tables. For step outputs, for workflows and things like that. You can just download them as PDF or docx. And we've also enabled file downloading from external tools. We started to roll that out. So the first tool that we did this with is the code interpreter. So for those who don't know, the code interpreter, pretty much every AI system has some sort of it, where it's basically just executing a bunch of code and generating files and that kind of stuff. So if you get a link from like ChatGPT or something like that, it's basically this is what's happening. So you can see everything. So in this, and let me rewind because I sped this up here. So I've asked it to, find information on Hatz's brand refresh. So just gave it that, and had it gave it the tools where it can go search the web and do all of that. So it actually, searches the web. If I click into the tool results, I can see like what the AI sees. And then it will actually write all of the code to generate a full PowerPoint for me. And it will then respond with a link to go download that PowerPoint. So, it'll give it to me in the chat, but it's also in the tool results. Click there, and then you can see I was experimenting with creating ones for Mark II, and it'll go and create a PowerPoint. So it can do this with Excel, PowerPoint, PDF, Word documents. Again, this is like AI generated though. It's AI generating them with code. So if you've done this on other platforms, they're not like the best design. They're not like the greatest things. There's the limitation based on the output of the file. And it could be very useful for quick things or quick PowerPoints or quick things like that, but it's going to feel like an AI generated one. So we spent a lot of time with the team, like, okay, how do we make this actually usable for businesses? How do we make it so the AI is not generating the whole document where you lose all of your formatting, you lose your templates, you don't have any of that stuff. So what we've done is we've created a brand new type of step in workflows for document generation. So I'll actually pause here in a second, but you can upload Word documents or PDFs, or even just a template of your. So you can upload like a Word document template of just like your letterhead, or you can upload a fillable PDF. And in this example here, it'll automatically load the text fillable sections in a PDF, and I can fill that with inputs or prompt outputs or things like that. So for this example, I've actually taken like a random NDA fillable PDF that I found online, built a quick step that goes and like finds someone's address online, and then fills out the fillable PDF for me. So I put in image quest information. It went and found their company address, Milton's name as the CEO, sort of all of that stuff, and filled it out. We've added the ability to do this with Microsoft Word too. So if you upload a Word document into the document generation step, it will actually give you the option to do find and replace. So you can upload a document, you can just append text to it, say, hey, take the output of step 3 and fill this Word document with it. That's like that's like level 2, right? Have your letterhead, all of that. But if you want to get more advanced, say you have like a long Word document that has multiple sections, it has tables that needs to be filled out, and you want to put the outputs of different steps, or you want to put the inputs from whatever in there, you can use a find and replace feature. So if you upload a Word document here, you can, like what I do internally is I'll actually put like brackets, like replace with project requirements here, and then put the output of the project requirement step in there, and it'll actually fill the whole document out for me. So this is, lots of use cases around legal, around project planning, around any sort of tracking, any sort of like compliance reporting, where you have like sort of a standard long document. And, the cover page is always the cover page. It says about me, about my company, this. And then the next thing is like a table of the project plan or something like that. So that's all available and live. It's in workflows, and you are there and ready to do it. Okay, I saw some questions in there. Is there a way to preserve my PDF field mapping to step outputs? Yeah, so you put in the output in the field mapping button, sort of in there. And then yeah, there's docs on this. I'm not sure if I'm pretty sure we have a video on it, but we'll make sure that we send that over if we don't yet. But I'll keep going here because some of the stuff that we have that we're releasing over the next couple weeks is really fun. The first, and I'm hoping to get this out today, will be, and I full blame on me that this wasn't out already, but just being able to select your agents in the chat. So that'll be out later today, most likely. We're going through final QA and approvals now, where you can search and select your agents in the chat inside the model selector, but also be able to assign different tools to your agents. So previously you were limited on like different types of search options, but now we have the full agent tool selector in there. So again, our plan is to release this today, and I have a high conviction that we will, but we just need to go through some final checks before we do. So worst case it'll be Friday morning. You'll be using this with a release tomorrow night. But excited about that. We are also redesigning our entire workshop right now. So this is going to be rolled out in October. You'll probably see two parts of it. One is the unification of all apps, agents, and workflows into one place. There'll be better community searching, where it's more of like a discover section. You'll be able to search through tags better, manage your visibility better, based on if it's just you, or it's shared with your company, or it's a public thing, all of that kind of stuff that you'd expect. Our current workshop, there's been so many features added over the past couple months that it's sometimes very difficult to navigate, and it's frustrating. So we've done the work to unify it all internally. And then a follow-up release on that, which we expect to release in October as well, is full group management and group access. So being able to create groups inside of the platform for your different departments, being able to share agents, workflows, and automations, agents, workflows, and apps with specific groups, or keeping them private, or share them with your company. Just more granular access on all of that stuff. Along with this will come the ability to share agents as well. So this is one, we do a lot of incremental releases. This is one that's like a big replacement. So a lot of new features are going to come at once, and a big unification is going to come at once. And then along with that work, we are nearing the final touches on releasing the Hatz AI Workshop Assistant. So, talk to a lot of people. Hey, it takes me a while to build apps, workflows, blah, 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 blah. We internally are like, why do we need to be dependent on a clickable user interface to navigate our product and use our tools? What if you could just do all of it from the chat, from a workflow, from wherever? What if all of the tools could be managed by AI? And so coming very soon, over the next couple weeks, is the Hatz AI Workshop Assistant. So it'll be a selectable tool to start, and we'll begin integrating it in multiple parts of the platform. But being able to ask it simple things like what agents do I have access to, and it'll go through and actually perform a search and figure out what you have access to. Figuring out, hey, what about apps and workflows? What apps and workflows do I have access to? So it'll again perform a different search, see exactly what you have. Being able to do keyword searches too. What workflows do I have related to? I think I said cars here. Yeah. What workflows do I have related to cars? And I have this is my demo account, my test account. So I have all sorts of stuff in there. Being able to get a link to it where it just links you over and brings you right in. This one was a fully AI generated workflow too. So I'll show what that looks like in a second too. Key thing is being able to create too. So being able to, filling out all the agent fields and, or creating an app or a workflow and getting the inputs and all that stuff right. There's a learning curve to it. So we want to make it so it's so easy. Anyone can hop in and create their first app, agent, workflow in just a couple minutes with the assistance of AI. So I've gone in and asked it to create an agent that translates technical requirements to simple requirements and vice versa. The actual creation process, there's a lot of AI sort of like chains happening in the background. So I've cut through that part. But you basically ask it to do something, and a minute or so later, you get the full agent and a link for it ready to use. You can create multiple things in the chat history too. So example here, it went so quick it missed it, but I asked a follow-up question. Could you create this as an app instead? And then it went and created the app with all the different user inputs. And if I flip to the editor view, you'll see that the AI is very good at building these correctly and using the inputs correctly. And I wanted to show what a workflow looks like too, because this was the more difficult thing. So the way that we did, sorry about that. The way that we built out workflows is it will actually create a workflow and then can add or update different steps or nodes and manage the connections for all of them. So these will take a couple minutes to run because it's the AI, going and choosing all the right integrations, building out all the inputs, checking it each step along the way. But as you can see, I asked it to create a workflow that looks at my calendar, it pulls my calendars, and then I asked it to, check Salesforce for upcoming meetings, do Google searches for who I'm meeting with, and then send me all of that key information in Slack. And it was able to do it in one shot. And also because we separated out nodes in this tool, if there's something wrong with a specific step, you can just ask it to update, the step about the calendars, and it'll go ahead and do it. We also wanted to make sure that it could kick off jobs as well. So we added the ability for it to actually query apps and kick off workflows and ask agents questions right in the chat too. So I've talked for a long time about how our master plan, if you will, or our high level product direction is to make it so you can have all of your different agents and all of your different workflows, and they can sort of be run and orchestrated by each other. And this is really the biggest step to making that a reality, where everything you've already built inside the platform can just be, hey, run this workflow, right? Ask my, my PowerShell app for the script back. Those types of questions, and being able to navigate the whole thing without leaving the chat. So, we have a big focus on UI enhancements now that, after we release the underlying sort of engine of all this, and there will be a lot more AI type interactions across the platform. I'll be the first to admit that our onboarding process can be cumbersome as an MSP trying to set up the tenant and all of that stuff. And we are going to, move towards that direction for a lot of these things where, hey, I need to deploy my domain, I need to set my color scheme, I need to, blah, 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 blah. And it just quick AI interactions and getting it done. And if you want to set it up yourself, you can. but I'm really excited about this. These recordings, I recorded them about 30 minutes before the meeting. It's not like this is in a very developed state, and we're getting through our normal September release cycle, and we hope to have this in everybody's hands soon. It's very, very exciting and a lot of fun. And I I will say
So you
too
just
on roadmap we have preparing to release a lot around Microsoft Suite. Come again, JP?
no, you dropped off, Jimmy, and I just thought like you dropped that big bombshell and just like left to go. And I thought that was what was happening, but obviously not. Yeah, yeah.
No, yeah, we have we're doing some testing on OneDrive as an agentic integration, meaning that you can use it in workflows, and you don't have to drag and drop files. It can just search and find them using your user permissions, Excel, Teams, that kind of stuff. All moving along, and we're in sort of a testing stage, getting all of this stuff out over the next couple days and weeks. We also, I know on the last roundtable, people asked us about Autotask. We're moving along on that too. Month's not over yet. We still have another release or two to get out. So no promises there, but I did want to just provide a quick update that we're moving along there. And then also we hope to, by the 1st of October, bring a lot of our first wave of beta integrations out of beta too. So there's been a lot of people testing things like ConnectWise and things like that are in beta, and there's some wonky things, and updated docs and that kind of stuff. So we're moving along through all of that and hope to have those moved out where you don't need to turn on the beta flag to use them. But that is that's what we've been working on, and some of the new things we've released, and I'm excited. I'm excited.
Jimmy, we missed a big drum roll before that last piece. That's what well,
It's
what
cool. It's fun. I'm like, whoa, I could make a workflow like this. Like, I didn't even think to do it that way. Like, it does things I wouldn't even imagine. It's like, oh, this step reads calendar information. So the step before it, I'll have it output as JSON. So it's easier for the AI to read it. I'm like, oh, like I wouldn't have thought of doing it that way. That's pretty cool. But being able to just be like, hey, create this like simple app with like some inputs that are helpful and provide a little guidance on what you want, and then having yourself or an end customer be able to be like, oh, I can use this now. It'll also look at like if you're building a workflow, it'll look at what integrations you have activated and just add them to the steps for you. So it's fun. It's fun. This has been the most fun feature that I've worked on ever. And we're just getting started with it. Custom API tools and integrations. Yeah, we're working on that one too. Yeah, that's moving. That is moving along. I will give that. We part of actually, let me give some context. So pull the curtain back a little bit. We built a lot of the custom API tool and integrations, and we did some testing with it, and we realized that people, they're really difficult to set up, especially with like custom API and wrapping them as tools and that kind of stuff. So we wanted to get the agentic building of it all done first. So that way we can add features like, hey, here's the docs for this API. I need a tool that adds a new customer in this, random CRM industry specific tool that my one customer uses. Can you build that tool for me? So that's how we're thinking about it, and why we held that back a little bit, just so we could make the actual using and rollout of it high impact from the start. And yes, Kat, it builds agents and workflows and kicks them off and gets you the answers from them and apps and everything.
Jimmy, just a bit of a leading question. I know we're going to wrap up like tremendous speed continuously in Hatz in terms of product release every week and big changes, and you just went over one. How should MSPs think about the speed in which they're moving with customers, and like tie it all together for us a little bit over the last hour, some of the things we talked about?
Yeah, I mean, look, like things change really fast. New technologies are dropped like crazy. All of a sudden, it's like, okay, AI can generate images that are actually usable in business, and Will Smith doesn't have 7 fingers in a video, or eating spaghetti or whatever it is. And the AI is just able to do a lot more, like this, like workflow generation. So like we use Claude and GPT-5 under the hood to make them like really work. And just out of curiosity, I tested it with older models, and the quality just wasn't even close. So like the art of what's possible is changing on a monthly and sometimes daily basis. And it can feel overwhelming to just get started, because it feels like you get started and then you're behind right away. But it's not going to stop. Like if there's no improvements to foundational AI models, again, we'd still be 4 years of innovating and building the interactions with tools and making it so it can edit Word documents and fill PDFs and things like that. So like um, like narrow, high value use cases is the place to start, right? Like having an AI, like Mike came on board internally, and I asked him what his favorite feature in the platform was, and he said, "Oh, it's I just I have a little note on my notes app of that I send the chat when I want to generate an opportunity in Salesforce, and this used to take me." 25 minutes to go and click all the right buttons and do all the right things and add the right stuff. And now I just tell the AI to do it. And like we could have spent 6 weeks of like training and onboarding and AI sales workflow, recruiting and list building and all of that. But the narrow high value use case that gets Mike using the platform every day was just have AI do his Salesforce user input for him. So my 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 sort of like bringing this all home on like AI is moving so fast, technology is changing, it feels overwhelming. It doesn't take a lot to get someone to just be immediately hooked. And it's one narrow, high value use case that they can use multiple times a week or even every day that saves them a bunch of time. And we're in the business of, helping people find those use cases, right? We collectively, as all of our partners on the call. Like we don't need to overdo it. We don't need to boil the ocean. We don't we don't need to create the most complex workflow of all time. Like we just need to find something that helps them right away and helps them today, and let them build upon that. All right. I'm supposed to be on a webinar in 1 minute. So if anyone's joining the Ninja RMM Empath AI webinar, I've got to jump to that. So thank you all for your time. Really appreciate everyone.
Thank you.
Great. Yeah, thanks everyone. We'll get a recording out on YouTube later tonight. We'll send an email. And thanks for joining. Hope to see you all on October 29th, the next roundtable, if not before. Have a great one.